All right. Everybody in the back. Welcome to the 2024 SEC Baseball Tournament Game 2 post-game press conference. I'm joined by Alabama head coach Rob Vaughn, along with catcher Matt Cassetti, outfielder William Hamiter. Coach Vaughn will give an opening statement in a minute, and then we'll take questions directed first to the student athletes. And then Diego and Seth will have wireless microphones, so please wait till you're called upon to ask your question and identify yourself. Coach?
Yeah, obviously, a little bit shorter stay in Hoover than I think any of us wanted. But it was one of those days, man. I didn't think we gave anything away. I thought South Carolina took it today. I thought they played good baseball. Man, they drove the baseball. We had a great start. We're up 3-0. Feel like we're in a pretty good position. And man, we talk about it all the time as an offense. Two out hits win games. 2 out RBIs or how you win games. And you looked up, and 6 of their 10 were with 2 outs. We just couldn't quite get off the field with 2 outs. Thought we played great defense. And then obviously they went to Veach, and that's just that's an irregular pitch. It's a pitch that you try to take it, and it's a strike, and then you try to move on it, and man, it's 20 miles off his heater. It's a good pitch. He did a great job. So obviously not thrilled with the result. But man, South Carolina played good, and you got to tip our cap to them. And now we kind of sit and wait, see what happens. We'll go back and practice and keep preparing, and hope we get a chance to keep playing baseball next week.
All right, we'll take questions for Mac and William, please. Let's start in the back right.
Maxwell Donaldson, Tuscaloosa News. Just obviously you have a week till you find out your future, and then, or just under a week, but then after that you have a few days before you be playing. Just as a player, what's your mindset knowing you could have like a week and a half plus layoff before your next game, and obviously that next game is the biggest game of the year?
Well, I think we just want to prepare like any other day. Like I said, we don't know what's going to happen. I hope that we're in, hope we can keep playing, but we're just going to show up to practice every day and keep going, keep working as if, preparing to be in. So hopefully that'll be the case, but we're just going to show up every day and keep working.
Yeah, what he said, it's a weird time this time of the year. You never know what's going to happen in the postseason, and we just got to take it day by day, figure out what happens on Monday, and then just grind at practice all week.
All right, here in the front row, center.
Yeah, Mark Etheridge, D1 Baseball. So this is really for either of you. Veach, certainly a different look with that changeup. Could you discuss how you attack a guy who's going to throw at you like that?
Well, for me personally, when I was going up to bat, I was sitting on the changeup. I think the one I hit was a fastball, my first at bat off of him, but I was, that was his go-to pitch, so I was kind of preparing for it, sitting on it. Me personally, but.
No, yeah, you just got to be ready. It's a weird pitch. You don't see it every day, and I think you just got to calm yourself, kind of step back, take a breath, and just go out there, and you're going to do well. And I think that's the best thing, just stay calm in those situations.
All right, second row on the right.
For the players, first year under your head coach, what can you say about the job he's done at Alabama so far this year on the biggest stage at the SEC tournament?
He's been awesome. He's awesome about instilling confidence in us as players. I think he does a great job of preparing us to go out there and play and win ball games. He's mentioned this before, but I didn't know if I was going to come back or not this year, and I decided to. And it's been more than I could have hoped for, thanks to Coach Vaughn.
Oh, yeah, Coach Vaughn and the whole coaching staff that came in are awesome. They get us prepared every day at practice, and that's all you can ask for as a player. And I think that him and everyone that came with and JJ that stayed has done a great job all year, and it's just time to wait and just figure out if we can do it one more time with the boys.
More questions for the players in the back.
Cade Hampton, Tuscaloosa News. Will, you've extended your hitting streak to 10 games now. What's kind of working for you?
Well, I don't know how many more games of baseball I have left. I hope it's a bunch. I hope we can get in. But I've just been, showing up every day with a positive attitude and just really more than anything, just trying to have fun and enjoy it. Like I said, I don't know how many more games I have left, but I've just been trying to take it day by day and just be present, live in the moment, and have fun.
Any more questions for Mac or William? If not, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
Weird.
Yeah, you guys are. All right, questions for Coach? Please raise your hand in the back right.
Nick Alvarez, AL.com. This obviously, you guys will wait and see. You'll prepare as if you are in. Do you feel like you guys have done enough to kind of get in and be able to stake your claim in the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably against the advice of everybody else. I don't think there's really much of a question. But for me, I'm a big believer in not leaving my fate in anybody else's hands. That's kind of how I've approached everything in my life. I don't want my future. I don't want my career. I don't want anything dictated in the hands of somebody else. And by not getting it done today, you kind of leave it in somebody else's hands. And I think when you sit back and you look at the body of work of what these young people have done. There's no way you look up and say it's not one of the top last 64 teams deserving to continue to keep playing baseball. I mean, we played, this is my first time going through the SEC. It's the beauty of this league isn't just good players, isn't just good coaches, isn't just good environments. It's the meat grinder that is 10 straight weeks. And you see other teams around the country that'll go play SEC teams, and they're good. They're very good teams. They'll get them on a Tuesday or they'll get them early in the year. What makes this league what it is the day in, day out. And like I said this in the interview yesterday, we played South Carolina about, I think, week 3, week 4, something like that of the season, and took 2 or 3. That team's a different team than they were then. That they played better today than they played at our place. But I think when you look at the body of work with the series wins we have, the quality wins we have, the lack of bad losses that we have, I think it's a no-brainer that this is one of the top 64 teams in the country. Now, again, there's a lot of people that have a lot of different opinions on that, so we'll see how it plays out, but there's really not a doubt in my mind these kids should get a chance to keep playing next week.
All right, second row on the right.
Coach, your first year, I asked the players, and it seems like the whole baseball team feels that way about you. How do you feel year one has gone? I know it's not potentially over, but just your overview of something, and you took over in a tough situation and done a really good job.
Yeah, I'm a believer in people. That's what drew me here, to be honest with you, is a guy like Greg Byrne. I think we have the best AD in the country. Just not that he's good at his job exclusively, but the human that he is. That's what drew me to Alabama in the first place. And then fortunate enough to keep JJ on our staff and to bring 2 guys with me that have been with me for a long time. Pap's been with me for 11 years. Mo's been with me for 3. And I think that's the biggest takeaway. I get to show up to work every single day with people that believe the same thing I believe. And these kids, man, like, it's a special group of kids. The ones that decided to stay, the Matt Gassetti who could have signed, the Will Hamner who could have hung it up. Some of the freshmen coming in, Justin LeBron trusting us. That guy would have had no shortage of places to go if he wanted to. He could have signed in the draft, and he chose to stay. Alton Davis. I mean, the list goes on and on. Gage Miller. Just, it's a special group of kids, and I think when you walk into a new place, the temptation is like, well, I can't wait till I get my guys in here. And, man, it's just not how we've acted from day one. I've never believed in that in the coach. The second I accepted this job, those kids are my kids. And, man, we've loved them hard. We've coached them hard. It's a group that, hopefully I get the chance to coach at Alabama for a really long time, but I'll never forget this group of kids and how they bought into everything we've asked them to do, done some really cool things, done some really special things. I mean, we have one position player returning from last year's team, and Matt Gassetti, and this team just finished 7th in the SEC. That tells you something about the character and the makeup of these kids. So, group I'll never forget.
In the center of the room.
Coach, obviously, you have like a 6-day layoff before you know your future, a little long before you could even play again. Just as a coach, how do you handle a long layoff like that? Obviously, you said it's been a meat grinder the last few weeks, but how do you kind of handle that layoff to make sure they're ready come next week?
Yeah, I think there's good and bad with that. Obviously, this place is awesome. Like, yeah, we win today. It would have been great to kind of pad our resume or whatever you want to call it, but man, I just want to stay in Hoover a little bit longer. This place is sweet. This tournament, I've waited a long time to get here, and you get the opportunity to play here is pretty awesome. So, it's one of those things where we'll kind of rally back together with the coaching staff and just see where we're at, and try to get a feel for, do these guys need a day to take a breath? Do we need to get right back at it tomorrow? I know, Greg Ferrone threw 100 pitches last Thursday and turned around and competed his tail off for us today. Just kind of ran out of steam, which we knew was coming, but I thought he did a great job getting us out of the gate, which is what we wanted. So be able to kind of let them catch their breath a little bit, let them breathe, but at the same time, not taking days that you just throw away, that we can prepare, that we can get our guys where we need to be. And, it can be good and bad. When you're super hot, man, you want to keep playing. But at the same time, to your point, after a 10-week grind of this, and you come out here and you play an elite team like South Carolina, you're looking up and say, you know what, these guys can breathe for a couple days. We'll keep getting them ready. We'll probably do some live type stuff to keep the eyes working, to keep our pitchers kind of on track, and then wait to see where we're heading on Monday.
Let's start front row center.
Hey, Rob, the SEC is kind of different this year. You have the teams at the top, and then you have 5 teams at 13 and 17, kind of all bunched together, similar resumes. How do you feel the committee is going to view that? Are they going to reward the strength of schedule, or do you feel they'll look at that conference record and have some concerns?
Well, I think if they asked me, I'd be really happy to tell them, yeah, take them all, baby, let's go. This league's different, and I didn't understand it till I got here. I really didn't. That's, to be honest with you, that's going to be up for the committee to decide, how they want to look at that. And I think that's what you're looking at. Are you trying to make it super fair, or are you trying to put the best ones in? And that's not my decision. And I think we had opportunities to kind of put the final nail in there to leave no doubt of what's going on, and we came up a tick short doing that. So once you do that, it's out of your hands a little bit. But I think when you look at this, I mean, I can't speak for other teams and other stuff, but Tennessee's lost one conference series all year, and it was to us. Arkansas, we were able to get them at our place when they were the number 1 team in the country. But what makes this league awesome is you get Arkansas that weekend, you take 2 or 3, and you're rewarded by getting the new number 1 in Texas A&M the next week. And there's not another league in the country that battles through that. Now, what I will say is there's really good baseball across the country. Spent the last however many years in the Big Ten. Some really good teams in the Big Ten. There's no doubt that there's some really good teams in the ACC this year. So I think there's good baseball everywhere. But I think if you're looking at it, you do have some teams bunched together. But even within that 5, I don't think they're all created equal. So I think that'll be up to the committee to decipher through that and see, I think there's 11 teams in this league that can go win a regional. Now it's just a matter if we get the opportunity to hop into that and compete to do that.
All right, we have time for 2 more. Back right.
Coach Alex Day, College Baseball Central. Coach, you talked about how this league is different. Can you expound on that, and, as compared to your experience in the Big Ten and then coming down here in your first season in the SEC, and talk about that meat grinder a little bit more?
Yeah, man, I loved my time at Maryland. Man, I learned so much as a coach. Both my kids were born there. My wife and I made Annapolis, Maryland home for a long time. So I don't say any of this is a negative to other leagues, and never would I ever do that. But you have that slogan, it just means more. And for the last 11 years, I've been on the other side of it, getting really mad at when people would say that, and then you step into it and you get it a little bit. You get the crowds, you get the environment, you get the investment, you get the support, you get all of those things, and you do see it. It does mean more to people when you come down here. You have a ton of just college athletics communities. Been in Tuscaloosa for 8 months now, and the one thing I found out really, really quickly is that place revolves around Alabama athletics. I can't go to the grocery store. If we have a tough weekend, people are eyeing me at the grocery store. We have a good weekend, everybody's high-fiving you in the grocery store. And that's what you want. As a competitor playing in that, that's what you want. As a coach competing in that, that's what you want. You want people to care. And that's why I love it. People wear me out on Twitter all the time because we have the wrong color pants on, or because I pinch hit the wrong guy, or because we didn't. But they care, man, and I'll deal with that. I love that, and I've absolutely loved getting to compete against the best of the best, and I think this group really laid the foundation of what we're building there in Tuscaloosa, and very fortunate to get to coach these kids, and very fortunate to call Tuscaloosa home.
All right, last one on the front.
Coach, y'all got to face Cole Messina, after a big weekend that he had. I guess for your pitchers and for the staff calling pitches, just how tough is he to get, when he's hitting the way he has this past week or so? Yeah,
and the hard thing with Cole, man, it's one of my favorite kids in the league, man. His demeanor's awesome. He's a competitor. He does a great job behind the plate, but, man, he's a likable kid. I didn't like him much today, obviously, but likable kid. And, the hard thing with a guy like Cole is the way you get him out is the same way that he does a lot of damage. You can get him on a good breaking ball, but if that breaking ball stays up, he's going to hammer it, and you kind of saw that against Davis there in those middle innings. We had first base open, and, he's got 2 strikes, and it was kind of like, hey, bury everything. Let's, nothing to hit. We're going to kind of pitch around him, for lack of a better term, and that's not a knock on Parker Nolan, because that guy's really good left on left too. But you just kind of take your chances there, and if it's executed down, we might get a chance for him to move on it. But it wasn't. It hung up, and that guy blitzed it into right center, and that was kind of the big gut punch. You got it back close. It's 7-5. You feel pretty good. And then again, like I said, 6 of their 9 or 6 of their 10 runs were all done with 2 outs, and kind of he put the final stamp on that with that good ball to right center. So man, he's been in this league a long time. I've watched that guy play from afar from a long time. But, man, it's what's awesome. I say it all the time. In SEC baseball games, I think we could start them all in the 5th inning in a one-run game and call it good, because that's what it is from the 5th on. Like, who's going to make the mistake? Who's going to get the big hit? Who's going to make the defensive play? What is that going to be? I think it speaks to the parity of this league. And shoot, Cole's a heck of a player. You know, I hope we don't have to see him again until we get to Omaha. That's for sure. But good player, savvy player, and he was good. But that's what's tough, man. The way you get him out is, you know it. You know how you can pitch to him. But if you make a mistake, man, you better duck and cover. And he got us today.
Coach, we thank you very much for your time, and good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thanks, guys.